I wanted to make this quick video today to show you how I kind of set up my 2024, the start of it. It's been 3 weeks since I've kind of like been back on board after all the Christmas and New Year holidays. And so I wanted to kind of just take you through the process. This is one of the years that I've probably been the most formal about setting up the year that I want it to be. I used to do this a lot actually, but then during COVID and the weird years that we've had over the last few years and everything being very uncertain and not really clear on what the year was going to bring, I kind of put all this on the back burner. But I think this year was one of those years where I felt that we have left that behind us. And I want to just today take you through some of the things that worked for me, and knowing that this doesn't kind of work for everyone. But in all, I've actually created physical checklists this year. I used a template on Canva that was actually a cleaning checklist, and I modified it to have different blocks instead of like different rooms and what needed to be cleaned or done on each day. I just changed it to like morning, AM. But I'm going to share the screen and take you through that in a little bit more. But this worked for me because for me, I think I need to have something physical that's sitting on my desk. It actually sits here to the right of me. And every morning I look at it and I know exactly what I need to do. I've got the AM blocks, the afternoon blocks, things that I do at night. Have I been good at doing all of them? Absolutely no. And I think that's one of the things that I want to touch on today, that something is better than nothing. And so having this and doing it for the last 3 weeks has meant that I've been the most consistent with like morning meditation and reading power statements and looking at vision boards and taking morning biome supplements and things like that. So this is the most consistent I've ever been, which is only 3 weeks, which proves that I'm not someone who forms habits very easily. Well, not the good ones anyway. So let me share my screen and I'll show you through the checklist at the moment. So this is the checklist that I put together. It's very rough. It's not, meant to be perfect, and it's meant to work for me. And so what I did is, instead of having like just a morning routine, I wanted to have, morning routines, things that I focused on with the business, ways that I can fill the mind and, reconnect with the soul, and like learn new things, health and well-being, personal soul expansion, making sure that I'm kind of fit and healthy. And so that a way that works is that I have it printed on my desk every week, and I just write, up here, week starting this week, it's 22nd of January. And then I kind of like do little ticks or crosses, or I write numbers on the days that I'm doing things. So for instance, some of them are like weekly goals. So this is like, for the business, like to board on 1 or more new clients per week. And so this one doesn't need a tick or a status every single day. When a client comes on board, I might draw a smiley face, or I might do a tick, or I might write the initials of the client that came on which day. And sometimes multiple come on one day and then none for the rest of the week. Being better at asking for referrals and for reviews, whether this be for the podcast or whether this be for the business. All things, I think sometimes asking for feedback and reviews and testimonials is a difficult thing for me. So I wanted to put this on here as well. And then 5 business content and social postings per week. So this is one of the contents that will give me a tick for today for doing that. I haven't been doing that very well. Like I said, I'm not doing great at all of them, but I'm definitely doing some things better. I've definitely mastered, I guess, wouldn't say the word mastered, that's probably the wrong one, but I've definitely been really good at doing the morning things, coming in, doing the 15 to 30 minutes meditation, spinning the wheel, which is over there, and I spin the wheel. And I'll explain that a little bit in a moment, because for me, having morning routines that were the same thing every day kind of made it boring. So the wheel gives a little bit of random, which works for me. Encouraging myself to drink more than 1 liter of water per day, doing some movement, going for walks, standing for at least an hour a day, whether that be walk to work and walk home, whether that be, doing hours of standing up work rather than sitting down work, walking around the block a couple of times or around to the park during lunch breaks and things like that. And then in the evening, doing journaling, reflection time, and then a light meditation, which is basically this app that you put on the phone and the light flashes using the camera. And that is probably the hardest one to do because there's different people home, late nights, get home. You don't kind of really want to have flashing lights. So that's probably been the one that I've struggled to do the most. Sometimes at home to like put myself under the doona cover and have the light flashing so it doesn't interfere with, partners and other people around. The journaling for me, I couldn't do it writing in a book for some reason, like that just never worked. So I downloaded an app and paid for it on called Journal. And then a couple of days later, Apple did an update, and Apple's iPhones now apparently come with a journaling app as part of their core. So if you didn't know that, Apple now has their own journaling app. I'm pretty sure it's called Journal. The icon appeared on my screen after an update, and I was like, what is this? And it was a free journaling app. So for me, that works better. I can do a voice memo, I can do dictation, I can talk to my phone and it's typing for me what I'm feeling and things like that. So I don't have a strict framework. It's really like what's on my mind, things that worked well, things I want to see more of, that kind of stuff. The wheel. So the wheel for me was something that has been on my mind for a while, is that sometimes with the morning routines, like doing the same thing every day in the same order, just really wasn't kind of feeding my erratic mind and how I like to do things. So what I did is I got a wheel from IKEA. I'll just come out of frame. I probably should have prepared earlier, but it's this kind of thing. It's like $20 from IKEA, and you spin the wheel and it lands on a number. 17, my number. And then what happens is you match it up to this document here. So what I did is I just researched like a whole bunch of different things to do that were in line of like meditation or relaxing, playing with pets, decluttering a space, doing a gratitude list, writing, like write things down. Some of them like go stare at clouds and try and make formations. One of them's get your hands dirty, go spend some time in the garden. So there's a whole bunch of different things here. Zach Bush exercises. So that's what happens there. The wheel spin comes up, and then I do that during the day. And so yeah, that's how that works. The other thing that I wanted to do a little bit more of is focus on some new techniques or new soft skills. So one of those things that I've been playing around with is to learn Auslang, like sign language. And the other thing that's on my mind as well is to learn more around Tai Chi. And the other thing that I've discovered recently and really gone deep on is the Enneagrams, personality types. So at the start of the week, I'll put like a focus. Now, I don't have to only learn that thing or something that I want to listen to, read, or watch. But I just want to say, some weeks I'll put a focus there. This week, I haven't got a focus, but I've been watching Enneagram videos. I've been watching lots of different things. I don't know why I went blank there. A Tai Chi videos, that's what I was trying to think of. I'm just trying to, understand, Tai Chi and the basics and the principles and also sign language videos. I've been a little bit less on that. I was more keen on that the first few weeks, but definitely want to get better at that as well. So these are just like really weird ways of learning new things. Even say for the meditation, recently is the first time where ever since I've been doing, very basic meditation stuff, that I've been able to do non-guided meditations. So normally I would need to do guided meditation. Let me stop my share. Where the voice says, do this, focus on this, where lately I've kind of tried to grow myself and stretch that and just have noise, soothing music and noises in the background. And seeing whether I can relax the mind and just kind of focus on my intentions for the day. And so that's kind of, I guess, a step forward for me, is that, getting to a point where I don't need to do the guided meditations. And like I said, it's only been a couple of days, but, feels like there's some growth there. And that's only after 3 weeks of, doing this, consistently. I think there's no days that I've missed the meditation, actually. So, that's kind of cool for me. I like stats and analytics. I like looking back on data. And being able to make decisions. I tried to make it even more complicated by like scoring each of their own and putting it into a spreadsheet. I was like, oh, now you're going too far. So that's kind of how that came about. Something I did before that, and I did this many, many, many years ago when I read the book Starts With Why by Simon Sinek. I put together like a little brand guide for myself. Obviously being in marketing and business, I always like put brand guides together for clients and companies I've worked for, but I thought maybe I should have like my why filter. And so I updated this for the first time in probably about 5 or 6 years this year. And so I did this process first just to get back with a realignment of myself as a reminder. And this is printed and it's stuck up on the wall, so I look at it daily. This is, kind of like a summarized version of my mission or vision for the future, where I envision a world where, all 8 billion people on the planet have a profound understanding and connection to the life underneath our feet and the soil. And so, a lot of this stuff is now very skewed around soil. This is a life quote that I've been carrying around with me for a very, very long time. It's on like my CV and it's on cover letters, and I talk to this in presentations and stuff all the time, where nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And so that's why I just care for soil and care for educating. I don't really worried whether I misspell something or mispronounce something. And that kind of led me to this new kind of qualification thing. One of the questions that I always get when I tell people that I'm into soil and I have a podcast and, whatnot, and they're like, oh, what's your qualifications? And I find it quite weird that you need to have like qualifications in order to talk passionately about a topic. And so my comeback to that, I guess, sometimes is that I'm unqualified and curious. So really it's curiosity that has taken me down this rabbit hole of soil. It was my curiosity back in the early 2000s, and my curiosity for the internet that kind of taught me marketing and hanging out with a lot of people. I've never done any formal education around business marketing. I've just played in the sandpit of life. I've built different businesses. I've done a lot of startups. I've failed a lot of startups. I've learned a lot from it. I've been in the right rooms, networking and rubbing shoulders with other leaders who have been there, done that. I've just spent a lot of time filling my brain with information and knowledge and trends and what's working and what's not, and being an early adopter. Like obviously now in 2024 and even last year, there was this big movement of artificial intelligence and AI, and knowing what all that was. 2 years before that, it was all about crypto and NFTs, and we set up the Metatree project, which is all about NFTs and physical trees. So I've always been an early adopter of technologies and trends, and the same with digital and marketing and the web when it first came to the world. I was there learning and hungry for information. But soil has been here all along. And so I got curious when my worlds of marketing and soil kind of connected. And so this is a document that I kind of have up on my wall, and one of the major things I remember a couple of years ago, maybe like 5 years ago, when I was working with Farming Secrets, was the fact that this word regenerative didn't exist in vocabulary. It used to be sustainability. And then I changed sustainability to regenerative because I discovered that a sustainable system that's broken stays broken. It just sustains its same. And so I wanted to regenerate it and heal it and make it better today than what it was yesterday. One of the things I've added recently is just getting better, to better my biome. And that's why even on the other document, there is the thing to supplement and give my biome love. And whether that is like with mushroom supplements or having fermented food or like kimchi and stuff, I want to make sure that on a daily basis, I am feeding my biome locally sourced produce and things like that. So that's my why filter. I think it was very important that I did the why filter first, so that way I could just align my kind of North Star again. Obviously, over the last few years of COVID and everything that's kind of happened, that North Star got a little bit blurred and, created a bit of, I think everyone was in this floating holding pattern. Well, I felt that anyway. And so this year I kind of put these, reviewed my goals and my values, and then, created this kind of daily thing. And this daily thing is aligned with goals that I want to achieve. So I have business goals of, how many clients I want to have by the end of the year. And so reverse engineering that, it comes up on here that I need to do at least 10 to 15 contacts, a week in order to then convert one, type of thing, or even, 10 to 15 probably a day. Building relationships, reaching out to people, checking in with people, seeing how they're going. Do they need any help? What are they stuck with? All those kind of things that I do on a daily activity. The same with like, having my, drinking more than 1 liter of water and consuming, X amount of calories and focusing on keto. Like those kind of things are all in alignment with achieving a weight goal that I want to achieve by the end of the year. So it's all about knowing where you want to go and kind of reverse engineering that So you have your annual focuses, what you need to do quarterly, what you need to do monthly, and what you need to do daily in order for all those to line up. And it's kind of that statement that, like, if one thing is true, like I am consuming less than 1,800 calories a day and sticking to keto, well, if that's true, then it should be true that the monthly goal and the quarterly goal and the annual goal kind of get achieved. So that's kind of the mentality there. That's kind of what's working for me. It's probably overkill for most people, quote unquote, because some people just want to focus on one thing, and that is completely fine, because 10 years ago that was what I did. I just had one annual focus that I did, and that's basically what I did. And as the years compound, and my ambition and my feeling that I need to do something quickly in order to reverse climate change and heal our planet and get people talking about soil, produce shitloads of free content through the podcast and videos like this. There is kind of like this sense of urgency from me anyway, that I need to do more in order to get that message out there. So if you are watching this video and you kind of vibe what I'm doing, Soil Connect is my main focus. I've got a quote on the wall at the moment, which is, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. Because sometimes me as an entrepreneur and startup kind of enthusiast wants to start up 17,000 different projects and focus on all of them and move none of them forward. And so that's kind of been the distraction over the last few years. But this year, it's the focus of Soil Connect, and the podcast fits within Soil Connect as content created to have really cool conversations with business owners and entrepreneurs and soil, enthusiasts around the world. That brings me, more in alignment with the content that I want to hang out with and create. And then I moved my marketing business into this Soil Connect brand, where I'm helping soil-based and soil healing sustainable businesses that are doing good for the planet improve their marketing and increase their impact. So feel free to reach out. There will be links around this video where you can just DM me on any of the platforms. YouTube, obviously with the podcast as well, like make sure you're subscribing and getting all the notifications, because there have been some really good conversations that I've recorded over the last couple of weeks, and some really good episodes landing with just so much innovation that's happening, so many great ideas, so many passionate people that are making real change. And it's been a pleasure to kind of hang out with them. And the podcast really is kind of like that gift that I can give everyone, to say, I've had this magical conversation with someone, and now I want you to experience that as well. So whether that's on YouTube as a video or by the Secrets of the Soil website, the podcast, it's on all the platforms. If you search Secrets of the Soil, you'll find it. But if you're a business owner, or businesses that are looking to grow in 2024, whether it be yourself as a consultant or an agronomist, or you're working for a company that has large amounts of people and you kind of want to take your marketing to the next level, then reach out to me at Soil Connect. Go to soilconnect.com.au and have a look at some of the services we offer. But anything got to do with digital business and marketing, using some AI tools these days to really fast track and stay ahead of the curve. Because if you don't, competitors will, and you'll be left behind. So we need to embrace the technologies, even though we might be scared of them or we're not sure how the future will look. This to me feels very much like what social media was, decades ago, and what the internet was 2 decades ago. Like, I feel like every 10 years we get this kind of milestone where the world evolves and changes, and we don't want to embrace it. And now all of a sudden, you wouldn't think starting a new business without going to buy the domain name first, probably before even having your ABN or any of your company structures set up. So, and then you're going off and setting up all your social media platforms, even though you don't have a logo to put in it and you don't even have any content to post, So we've definitely changed, and I think AI will go down that same path. So that's enough from me. I just wanted to make this quick video to share with you what's been working for me, getting into a new rhythm for 2024, setting myself up in order so that way I can help impact more businesses and more people getting connected with the wonderful world of soil. So on that note, as I always say, get outside, get your hands dirty, and keep digging deeper into the wonderful world of soil. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share it around, and reach out if I can help with anything. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.